Wake up.
Hi, what is your
Let's
name
get
and what is your
it.
position with WMBK?
Hi, my name is Myles Durkee. I'm a professor at the University of Michigan, and also affiliated with the clinical research and evaluation team with my brother's keeper of Washtenaw County.
How long have you been involved with WMBK and how did you get involved?
So this is my first year of involvement with my brother's keeper. I participated in the Formula 734 program, which focuses on music development, music skills for local youth in the area. And I've also been assisting with the evaluation team on evaluations of additional programs within my brother's keeper, including the restorative circles, which will be launching fairly soon.
What does your participation with WMBK look like on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis?
So the majority of my participation is behind the scenes. So it's really been designing what that evaluation will look like, how we'll implement it, the type of data that will be collected, how we'll examine that data, and then how we'll disseminate that data. But in addition to that, I've also participated, as I mentioned previously, in the 734, a Formula 734 program, which was a weekly basically a music intervention, to teach youth in the area how to get involved in the music industry, how to craft their own artistic talent in the production of music and their own craft. So yeah, that's been the kind of extent of my involvement thus far.
Have you always had an interest in research type work? And if not, how has that developed over time?
Yes, I've been involved in research. Wow, I've been in a research lab ever since I was an undergrad. So
Oh,
ever
wow.
since
Okay.
what was that, my sophomore year of undergrad when I was, what, 20 years old? I've been in a research lab ever since, and I run my own research lab at the University of Michigan, almost 20 years later.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, so research has been a lot of what I do. The bulk of the research has been to examine the psychological experience of Black Americans, really to understand how race influences their day-to-day life, how it also affects mental health and well-being, coping responses, and identity development. So that's been kind of the overall broad mission that's driven our work. But we've looked at that in many different ways to really understand this complicated racial experience for Black Americans in the United States and how it affects their health.
Perfect. What is your background or work outside of WMBK and how has that influenced your approach to the work you do with WMBK?
Okay, so my background outside of WMK, I have a PhD in educational psychology, applied developmental development. Currently, I work I'm associate professor in the psychology department at the University of Michigan, specifically in our personality and social context area of psychology. Some kind of also call this community psychology, which is looking at social factors that affect communities and members within communities. So the work I do, looking at the racial experiences of Black youth and young adults, I mean, it fits directly with the population that my brother's keeper serves. We've conducted a lot of research with adolescents and emerging adults, really understanding how social stressors and racial stressors affect them on a daily basis and how it also affects their mental health and well-being, and identity development, and also academic achievement, academic outcomes as well.
I know you touched on it a little bit before, but how does your work with WMBK fit into your passion and life goals?
Yeah, I mean, the passion of life goals is to really understand these hidden experiences that we don't really have a lot of science on. So when we think about racialized experiences in the United States, particularly, nearly every aspect of our behavior, our daily life is racialized.
Mm,
So from the way we carry ourselves, the way we dress, to the way we talk, to who we hang out with, to the types of music we listen to even the types of movies we watch,
mm.
everything is racialized in the United States, where it's either racialized to be, a very white or very black or Latino, etc. So because some of these aspects, I mean, they're part of our typical repertoire, we don't realize it. So kind of my work has been really to examine what are these unspoken racial scripts that dictates how we operate in our society. And then what happens when people violate these racial scripts, or they don't behave in the way that people expect them to behave, or they behave too stereotypically that way of that racial script too. How are they penalized? So we've been examining kind of these racial social norms, these scripts, and also the experiences of discrimination and microaggressions that folks experience, how they cope with it, and how it affects them. So I definitely went off tangent. Can you remind me what the question was again?
No, that's perfect. It's perfect. It's just about how does it fit into your passion and life goals, and you kind of talked about it there about what everyday life is like for Black Americans and for Americans in general, everything being racialized. So I think you got it well there.
Thanks. Once I start talking about research, I can just ramble on for about 30
Yep.
minutes, man. See why they cut me off.
Now I know you haven't been here for a while, but how would, if you, to the best of your ability, how would you describe WMBK's purpose and impact to those unfamiliar with the organization?
Yeah, I would say overall the purpose is mentorship. I mean, the powerfulness of mentorship, and it's really what a lot of individuals are lacking. I mean, you can never have too much mentorship. Even if you do have that support, you can always have more mentorship. So, I mean, that's really such a game changer that I think is still taken for granted, in many aspects of our society, even by many of our policy leaders too. So, I'm great that WMBK kind of helps to fill this void that many youth need and even many adults need. I mean, you could always have a mentor, someone to kind of coach you at each stage of your life. So particularly for that period of adolescence and emerging adulthood, I mean, that's such a pivotal period where the decisions you make on that point are going to dictate the entire trajectory of the rest of your life. So whether this is deciding to receive additional education or training from vocational schools or professional schools or technical schools, or just going out and getting work experience in particular industries. I mean, all these decisions are going to impact which trajectory you're heading on and where your future is leading to. So having mentorship that can help coach you, guide you, direct you in certain areas, or give you training like the Formula 734 program is doing, it's giving hands-on applied training. I mean, this is really pivotal in changing the lives of our youth and young adults.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for finding the time for this interview today, and I hope to speak
Fear
to
is
you
just a
soon.
construct of us when confronted with the tough times. Luck is just another side of hope. You get what was on the other side, fronting on another spot like Cain to have a brother tying rope. Is it dope or the gram or